Okay, just to make the job a little easier for me to get underneath the vehicle and everything, I did put my vehicle up on jack stands, so make sure you follow the manufacturer's recommendation on where to jack it up at, where to put your jack stands, and never get under a vehicle unless it is safe. Check it out, make sure there's no wobble and that the stands are secured. So the first thing I want to do is drain the petcock. I'm standing in front of my vehicle. I'm looking straight down. Here you see the hood latch comes directly back down over towards the engine, and straight on down you have access. Right there's the petcock that you would loosen to drain. Okay, here I'm underneath the vehicle. The front of the vehicle is here. There's the front bumper. Here's that access from below. And you're going to want to turn, here's where the fluid's going to come out, right here. My fingertip, that little hole. And you're going to want to turn that white valve counterclockwise as you are from below, counterclockwise. And if you do have to use pliers or something, just be real gentle to break it free. And then once I break that free and it starts draining into a pan, I will then go up above and open and take off the radiator cap after I've loosened this up. And as you can see, it got a little messy. That's why I just leave the radiator cap on. I'll pull the plug at the bottom, at the petcock, make sure the pan's under it. Then I'll go up above and pull the radiator cap. And I didn't have the pan quite situated. It's a little windy out here too today. But I'm going to clean this up. If you've got pets, do not let them out. Whether you're doing it in your garage or driveway, clean the area up very thoroughly. This stuff is deadly to pets, animals, cats, dogs, whatnot. So I will make sure this is all cleaned up later with cleaner and hose it all down. And here's what that petcock looks like. It's just plastic, and you just turn it off. It's got that little rubber O-ring in the front. Just twist it off, pull it out, let it drain like I'm doing. I'm going to let it drain a while, and then we'll do a refill. Now I'm not doing a flush or anything. This is just strictly draining the radiator, whatever comes out. The coolant that I'm going to be using is the Honda Extended Life Type 2. I just paid $19.08 a gallon. It's not cheap, but you know, you just don't want to second guess the engineers with today's engines, the aluminum and stuff. So that's what I'll be using. And this stuff is already pre-diluted, 50-50. You do not add water. Now to do the refill on my CRV today, I'm going to be trying this cooling system refiller by Snap-on. It's the SVTSRAD272-A. It comes as supplied other than the quick connect which you supply for your whatever you're using. So what I've done is put 3 gallons of their coolant into this 3-gallon jug, and you'll notice that I tagged it. I cut the sides out of the coolant gallon jugs and attach them so that I know what is in this container. And then I have the siphon hose from the Snap-on unit. here you can see the end down inside the bottom, and that goes to this hose here, this inlet, which I have shut off, and this is shut off currently to the shop air, and we'll see how this goes. This is the first time I'm using this. Now the directions do say that the coolant supply should be higher than the coolant opening here. So this is why I've got the 3-gallon container, the Honda coolant, above where it's going to be filled. Okay, before I forget, the overflow container, I've pulled that off and emptied it, wiped it down. And something else I did just to make sure that that wouldn't collapse, I wasn't sure, I put a hose pinch off tool there just to make sure to pinch that off so that it wouldn't collapse that plastic container. I wasn't sure if it would or not, and I did not want to take any chances. Okay, I'm going to supply shop air and see what happens. This is going to vacuum the system. What you're hearing is this little hole down at the bottom coming out of here, the exit port, and apparently there might be some fluid coming out. I haven't gotten any coolant coming out of that hose. That would be this hose right here. Now we'll see where it levels off at. It says anywhere from 24 to 27, and it looks like I'm at about 27, 28. If I'm reading that correctly. No, actually not. But it's up there pretty high. I'm going to call that good. Doesn't appear to be going any higher. I'm going to close that off. See how long that will hold there for a bit. Okay, next I want to slowly open this valve until some of that coolant gets drawn in, and as soon as it comes there, then I'm going to stop. Okay, that was pretty damn quick. Okay, then they tell you to shut it off. Then I'm going to evacuate. I want to make sure I get all the air out of the tube, any air that was in here. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I don't see any more. That looks good. Now, I will open this up and allow the system to fill, and I'm going to monitor. It shouldn't take no 3 gallons, but you want to make sure that the fluid does not go below the ball that's in the bottom of that container. So let me open this up. And when this drops to 0, your systems is supposed to be full. See how it's lowering in the container. Let's see what it does here. Okay. And some of it started coming out of here. So the system is full. That worked out very nice. And look at that, guys. I don't know if it'll show up. See the liquid up there? You can see the fluid. I don't know if it's... Okay, so that was slick as hell. Filled that bad boy right up. And I just took the snap-on unit off. This is the adapter that allows it to go to the snap-on unit, because today's cars, a lot of vehicles are substandard. So I had to get an adapter, which is this, which is the snap-on part number. Let me see if we can see it here. Maybe not. But it's a snap-on part number TA38C. TA38C is what you need for the Honda CR-V. And then that allows it to go from the small opening to the larger opening for your standard size, you know, your pressure testers or the system refiller. This is your standard size. Now what I did to evacuate that line that still had some from this jug, all I did was remove the shop air, put the unit on top of this jug because it's got a nice big opening, and then just opened up that valve. Just opened up that valve and held the hose up higher, and it drained all back into the jug, so I don't waste any. So guys, here's that adapter that I took off that fits the Honda CR-V radiator. This is a snap-on number. You can get these from other sources too. Don't get a cheap one. I bought a cheap kind of plasticized version for like $15 off Amazon. I did a review of it here on my YouTube channel. Wasn't worth a rat's ass. Scored it, and I just said, well, I'll let me bite the bullet, because these are in the 80s. I think this was in the $80 range. But now let's go take a look at the antifreeze. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the liquid. There's the coolant. See it? Right up to the top. That was slick. I'm telling you, it made that unit well worth what it cost. It was $200 and approaching $60, $70, $75 for that. But you know what? Just really nice. Very quick. Never ever have I filled a... And I did this cold. Didn't have to worry about hot water, hot coolant. Okay guys, all we got to do now is I wiped down. There was a little bit of fluid that dripped off stuff. Wiped that up. I took the hose pinchers off the overflow container. I don't know if I would have needed that, but I just put it on there, safekeeping. I may not have needed to do that. I'm going to put some coolant in the radiator overflow container, some new stuff. And obviously I will monitor this and make sure anytime you do a new job like this, you want to monitor any kind of levels. And now it's just a matter of putting the cap back on. Job complete.